Immigration is a contentious issue. Do people love it or hate it? This is what people on the streets of London have to say. To the fact, are you a tourist?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So how do you feel about immigration within the United Kingdom? What are your feelings upon that?
Well, I think it's always been a very open policy, which I think is very admirable of you. But I think at some point there had to be limits to that. But Americans shouldn't be advising you on what those limits are. But at some point, I think you do have to limit that immigration because it's a small island, and ultimately.
Good afternoon, madam. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Immigration, a good or bad thing?
Got no view on it.
Okay. The fact that 7.5% of the population are immigrants, and immigrants made up over half of the growth of the United Kingdom. How do you feel about that?
I think it's pretty poor, really, to be truthful. I mean, I'm not a racist person or anything, but I think the government should try and control it a bit more.
Okay.
That's what I do feel.
And why is that?
Just think we're losing our individuality, really.
Good afternoon, sir. Immigration, a good or bad thing?
Oh, I won't say anything.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Hello, immigration, a good or bad thing?
Immigration, but in what context? I mean...
in the context of the United Kingdom. How do you feel about immigration in the United Kingdom?
I think this is a really big problem, for sure, for United Kingdoms, because they just don't know how to deal with these people. They cannot give them support. They cannot help them with hospital and things, everything what they really need. So those are people is bigger problem, because if they will be in their own countries, that United Kingdom can more this control, because they can support at least them if they will be know what situation is that. But in this way, just is a bigger problem, and they cannot do anything about this really. So I think it's wrong.
Good afternoon, sir. Immigration, a good or bad thing?
I'm a visitor. I think it's bad though.
And why is that?
Because I think you're losing your own culture.
And can you define that for us, please?
Well, basically you're giving in to minorities all the way around.
Okay, what sort of minorities are we talking about?
All of them.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Immigration, a good or bad thing?
Depends whether you want extra people in the country, I suppose.
How do you feel about immigration in the wake of the London bombings?
I think they should control it.
I'm actually British, and I grew up in the United States. I think immigration should be strict control.
Excuse me, madam, immigration, a good or bad thing?
I don't know what to say about that. I don't think it's a good thing.
And why is that, madam?
No, please, I don't want to say.
All right, thank you so much for your time. What do you feel about immigration in the wake of the London bombings?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Good afternoon, sir. Immigration, a good or bad thing?
Immigration?
Immigration.
Bad.
A bad thing. Can I ask you your opinions on that? Why is that?
Well, I wouldn't like to comment on it, actually.
Oh, please do. We're not from the BBC.
Well, I mean, I don't know. People who's spend all their lives here, who's working all their lives here, and they can't get what they're entitled to, and people come into the country and they get more than what they do.
Absolutely. How do you feel about immigration in the wake of the London bombings, sir?
Bad.
How do you feel about the fact that immigration the immigrants make up 7.5% of the population, sir?
Well, you know, it's bad all round, really. That's my opinion.
How do you feel about immigration in the wake of the London bombings?
Maybe it should be more strict.
Sir, good afternoon. Immigration, a good or bad thing? Immigration.
Too general to answer, isn't it? But in principle, of course, it's fine. But,
okay.
I mean, but with certain controls, yes.
How do you feel about immigration in the wake of the London bombings?
I feel that we have to tighten up. But, you know, what's done in the past is done, so I don't think we can do too much about that, and that's something we have to live with. But I think we have to learn lessons from that, and yes, I think we have to scrutinise far more carefully and be much more selective as a result of that, obviously.